Hey, it's BT with the BT GP review of the Sachsenring in association with Sport Bikes Inc., the magazine I write for. It's free. Give it a try, man. Sport Bikes Inc. has a lot of articles on motorcycles, motorcycle clubs, new gears out. Please give it a try, man. It's free. Can't lose. Hey, my three favorite F's: free and food. The third one. So give it a try. Anyway, let's move on to the races. You can tell these guys. The summer break is here, and you could tell, man, those guys were ready to go. I mean, it's like when they interviewed Fanati at his first thing he said was, "Hey, I'm going to the beach, man. Okay, yeah, I got a podium. I didn't win. I'm going to the beach. I'll be ready next month, but I'm good." So it was like a Christmas break. You know how that Christmas break, that Friday before Christmas break, and it's like it's around noon, and you know you ain't gonna do anything like. Come on, teacher, what are we waiting for, man? Let's just get out of here. That's what that is like. It's like the summer break when you already passed your final, and you're in sixth grade, and you know you don't have a final, so you just like, you have a lot of parties, and you kind of flip people off, and you do whatever because you're not going to get in trouble. It's the last day of school. That's what this was like. They couldn't wait to leave, man. And you could tell, like I said, Fanati, the first thing out of his mouth was, "Yeah, I'm going to the beach." That's what he said, "I'm going to the beach." And Tom Luthi crashed in Moto 2. Luthi is solid as a rock. That guy is like, the guy is solid. You know, he's like David Allen Greer. You know David Allen Greer, the actor, right? He's not really a star, but he's like just a good solid. That's what he is. He's a solid. Anyway, let's go. Before I get ahead of myself, let's go to Moto 3. Moto 3, Joan Mir is a star. That guy, he toyed with the rest of that field like he was at Toys R Us on Christmas Eve. He was like like a cat. You ever see a cat kind of meow? Joan Mir. Last like, Mir. That's what he was like. That was stupid. But that's what Joan Mir is like. Joan Mir toyed with that field. He's a man among men. You know why? Because of all those riders in Moto 3, the one who shows flashes of brilliance, other than a lightning storm and a camera inside, no one shows flashes of brilliance like Renato Fanati. Fanati. The guy, like I said, he's old as me, and he's in Moto 3. The guy passes on the outside. You know how much guts that takes to pass on the outside? That's like having a third ball. It is. It's like having 3 testicles. That's what that guy is like. That guy passes on the outside. And put it this way, he's podium. He's at second in like the last 2 or 3 races. He would have won except for Joan Mir. Joan Mir, honestly, is what I think. He's a star. He really is. Because Fanati would be leading this championship if it wasn't for Joan Mir. Joan Mir is a man among men. He's going to win the championship. Good-looking kid. He's going to do damage in Moto 2 also. You watch. Joan Mir is the champion. Congratulations to him. And congratulations to Marcos Ramirez for getting the podium on the KTM. Let's move on to Moto 2. Moto 2, great race toward the end. Like I said, I don't know what happened. I guess Luthi was thinking about going to the beach or getting some chocolate in Switzerland. I don't know what it was, but Luthi crashed out. Luthi never crashes out. And then what about Alex Marquez crashing? Oh, I feel so bad. When Marquez crashes, he crashes like his brother. He crashes hard. I'll tell you what, that was kind of cool and touching. I don't know about you guys, but I liked it when he was in the paddock and he was in the pit box, and Mark came by and kind of did it like this, like a brother does, man. I mean, that was beautiful. It touched my heart. I'm not gonna lie, that was great, man. Anyway, props to Franco Morbidelli. Morbidelli showed why he's about to be a MotoGP. Morbidelli did the damn thing. He got challenged from he was supposed to run off with the race, which he didn't, but he took his time. He settled in, got his jab going. He just waited his time, bided his time. And props to Miguel Oliveira. He brought it. Miguel Oliveira brought it. It took to the last lap for Morbidelli to win it, and it took to the last turn for him to win that race. Great race. Props to Oliveira. Oliveira is bringing it. Look for him next year to be. I look for Oliveira to be in MotoGP in about 2 or 3 years. It's going to be interesting. I hope the KTM team gets a satellite bike also, because they deserve it. They're going to have some great riders. I think Oliveira and I think Bender, once his arm heals, those 2 guys are going to be MotoGP ready. Anyway, props to Franco Morbidelli. I still hope Morbidelli gets a pick, and he's picking his hair on the podium. That's what I want to see, because, like I said, he looks black anyway. I want to see him with a pick and be sticking out his head and going, yeah, the race is really good. I'm glad I won. And kind of do one of these like a soul brother #1. Anyway, MotoGP. The thing I thought was funny about this whole thing was Jonas Folger. You got to give it to Jonas Folger. Jonas Folger, and what happened to Petrucci? I had Petrucci being runner-up in the dry and the wet, and then that dude just fell like the president's approval ratings after a bad tweet. I mean, he just dropped. I don't know what happened. It was a dry race. It wasn't even close to being wet. And Lorenzo, you know, people talk, we talked, okay? I love how you guys talk with me. I love it too. Lorenzo said his attitude was like he expected to have a bad race or whatever. He picked a different tire choice to everybody. And he goes, after the warm-up, I really wasn't that bad. After the sighting lap, I wasn't that bad. And then he was in third place. And then I don't know what happened. He was in third place, then he dropped. And then Petrucci dropped. And it was just a really strange race. But I thought the funniest thing about the MotoGP race was the fact that Marquez is like, who's this guy? Folger? Who's this guy? Okay, he'll in a couple laps, I'll pass him. And he goes, okay. And Danny Pedrosa threw shade at Jonas Folger when he goes, so I'm racing, and all of a sudden I'm like, Folger? Like, I got passed by Folger. Like, it's kind of funny, but I wanted Folger to go, hey, Danny. I mean, seriously, like, really, Danny? Really? He threw shade at Folger, like, really? I got passed by Jonas Folger? Like he's a scrub, like he's a Rudy boot. And I thought it was kind of funny how he did that, how he said that. But Folger did a great race. Man, you got to give it to that guy. Tech 3 is outperforming the factory bike. Let's just be honest. And people talk about how Maverick has a bad attitude. Maverick's attitude is not so much bad as he wants to win, and he doesn't hide his emotions. He'll roll his eyes, but he wants to win. Whereas Lorenzo's like, you know, hey, I didn't do well, but but Maverick, he didn't hide his emotions very well. He'd be a terrible poker player because he's like, oh, not this shit again, you know. Whereas Lorenzo's like, oh well, I'm still getting paid. But I know it's more than that, but. He's having a bad year, and it's like he didn't even care. It seemed like he didn't care, and that's the difference. Vinales acts like he cared. Here's another thing. During the practice, remember when he and Marquez kind of had words? They looked at each other. If you notice on the start, they were doing practice starts. Vinales pulls up beside Mark, and he kind of tapped him on the shoulder like, hey. And Marquez looked at him, and Vinales was like kind of explaining himself, and Mark just goes like this. And he taps him again and says something, and Mark goes like this. You won't break Marquez. And I mean this out of every athlete, of all athletes, Michael Jordan and maybe a young Tiger Woods, and I got to say Marc Marquez are the most mentally tough athletes I've ever seen in my life. Marc Marquez, you can't break that kid. You can't. Remember when on his first championship, they were in Valencia, and somehow Jorge climbed up back into it. And he had to beat Jorge by like a play. He had to outdistance Jorge. And at the start of a practice start, Jorge bumped him, and Marquez looked back, and Jorge goes like this, like it was gonna get in his head. And Marquez threw his visor. You can say, "Really, dude? Really, bro? You're gonna bump my tire? Really, bro?" You can't break Marquez mentally. And I think the difference between Marquez and Vinales is that Marquez, I think, is a little stronger mentally, in the sense of he will get it done, and you can't break him. Whereas Vinales, if it starts going bad, I think Vinales has a tendency to push, and I don't know about blame, but he can be rattled. I'll put it the way, he can be rattled. But Marquez, he's the toughest mental athlete I've ever seen in my life. The weirdest thing about the Sachsenring is that of all the tracks I've been to, I think Mugello is probably the greatest. But anyway, for some reason I was missing it. I was missing going to the. I went there last year, and for some reason I loved it, and I missed it. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, which is FunnyMan6869, FunnyMan6869, you know I said I miss the Sachsenring like I miss a girlfriend, except no girlfriend could compete with the Sachsenring. Somebody tweeted back, "You're right, BT. I miss the Sachsenring too, because no man could ever make me as wet as the Sachsenring." Oh, touche. And you know who you are. Anyway, great race. I thought it was a good race. I thought you could tell those guys really wanted to go on summer break, man. They were ready to go. So you got to love it. Anyway, riders of the race in Moto 3. Got to give to Marcos Ramirez on KTM, on the KTM bike. Props to that guy. I think he's going to go to Red Bull KTM next year. That guy, he deserves a factory ride. Marcos Ramirez, his first podium. Good for that guy. 16-year-old kid. Good for him. Rider of the race, Moto 2, goes to Franco Morbidelli. Rider of the race in Moto GP goes to Jonas Folger, a German on a German track. He also had the fastest lap of the race, and he got runner-up, and he's on a satellite team. Props to Jonas Folger. Good race for him. I think it's going to be a great end of the season. 4 riders. It's going to go down to Valencia. Top 4 riders are going to go down to Valencia. I can't wait for the second half of the season. I still am waiting for the battle between Marquez and Vinales. That is the battle we have not seen and that I want to see. I thought it was great with Rossi and Petrucci, but Marquez, Vinales, that is the battle I want to see. As they always say, get your popcorn out. That's going to be the race. Anyway, second half of the season, I can't wait. Enjoy your holiday. Thanks for watching as always. If you guys want to hit me up, Funnyman6869 on my YouTube channel and my Twitter and my Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy your holiday. Until then, you know what I say. Peace.